Welcome to the Bryan Municipal Utilities Board meeting for July 2nd. I call this meeting to order. John, would you like to, well, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now, John, do you want to do the roll call, please?
I will. Karen Fuller.
Here.
Annette Schreiner.
Present.
Jim Salsbury.
Here.
Dick Long.
Present.
And Bob Eyre.
Here.
Okay, up on the agenda next is to approve the minutes of the June 4th, 2024 meeting. You've all received a copy of the minutes as written. Any changes or corrections, please note. Otherwise, I'll accept a resolution to approve.
Karen, seeing no additions or corrections to the board meeting minutes dated June 4th, 2024, I make a motion we accept as written.
Second.
Annette.
Yes.
Dick.
Yes.
Karen.
Yes.
Jim.
Yes.
And Bob.
Yes.
Up next is hearing of public concerns. Anyone would like to address the board may approach the podium. Seeing none. Up next is the Clerk-Treasurer Report. John?
Yeah, so we had a meeting that we skipped a couple weeks ago, so this is a little bit later than normal, but the board has received the monthly data, financial data for the month ending May 31st. Bank reconciliation, financial reports, and as usual, I'll answer any questions you might have on those now, or call me anytime.
Thank you. Well, I'll sign those when they're distributed around the other documents.
Need a motion to approve.
So moved. Second.
Dick?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Annette?
Yes.
And Bob.
Yes.
Thank you.
Next on the agenda is a request for free service from the Bryan Parks and Recreation Department. Ben Dominic is here to join us.
Good evening, board. In front of you, you should have a letter that I sent over to Derek, addressed to both the board and Derek. As most of you are aware, we have recently started a project down at the old Lincoln School site, Lincoln Park. And one of the things that we would like to add to the Lincoln Park project is restrooms. With restrooms, we obviously need power, we obviously need water. The third thing I'm asking for in there is fiber. And the reason for the fiber would be specifically our security system in the park area works so much better if we can tie it together with fiber. It makes it easier to download, record, all those kinds of things. So I'm also asking for fiber to be installed at the Lincoln Park restrooms.
I think it's a good idea to do that as well because we do have it with other city services that receive free service. So, be safety, security.
Yeah, we're just, I mean, obviously in that area, it's kind of a new area for our parks. We haven't been in there. And we have started adding in all of our other parks to the security systems. Recreation Park already had fiber in it, so we were able to kind of tie into the fiber with the help of Joe. Some of the other parks they're kind of freestanding, so to say, and then to download them, you have to go out to the system and you have to have an app on your phone, and then sometimes it'll download onto your phone and you can move it. And, but obviously the ones in Recreation Park that are tied to the fiber, if the police were to call or anything like that, it takes us merely, minutes to be able to go out to the amphitheater, go to the computer. You can download whatever you need. If they give us a time frame, we download that, boom, and they have it right away. They can continue their investigation or whatever they may need the footage for. They work a lot better if you can tie them into the fiber. So that's obviously why we're requesting that.
There's not a monitoring of that, but it's a historical reference.
So The way we monitor it is, especially when it ties directly into the fiber, is we'll pull everything back into the restrooms. The restrooms will have a men's side and a women's side, and then in the middle we'll do a chase room. All of our pipes, the backflow preventers, all that kind of stuff will run into that main room. In that main room, we'll be able to put a computer system where it will all run into that computer. And that computer will be able to record everything as it goes. Still, we'll only keep, I think, for 30 days on there, but it's, you know, you can see it in real action also. Like, we can be in that room and we can pull up all 7 cameras, however many cameras
So
we
it'd
put
be
up there.
live remote.
Yeah, you actually have the ability to live remote.
Who monitors that?
Right now, it ties into Bruce Wheeler's phone. Anytime there's motion at some of our parks, he gets an email about it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's definitely tied in.
So it's not tied into the police?
It is not tied into the police.
Okay.
I'm just afraid that as we continue to develop our security systems, if everything ties back into them, it may be overload as to what they're trying to, I mean,
Right.
they're already trying to do
Right.
another job. I don't want them to specifically.
But you have documentation?
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, we've actually had some success. We've had 2 or 3 situations that we have caught on our security cameras. 2 of them have already gone to the courts. I don't think the 3rd one ever went to the courts. I think it was settled out of the courts, but yeah, we've actually had some success with our security systems.
It's a benefit to the community.
Absolutely. Well, I think
'cause
longevity. I mean,
The longevity of the system, and for one instance, it was equipment and it was expensive, and so the taxpayers didn't have to foot the bill on that because the
Yeah.
people that were
Right.
responsible did.
But it's the benefits to community.
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely.
Definitely. Oh, okay,
Absolutely.
thank you.
Yep.
Any other comments? Otherwise, I'll accept the motion to,
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Bob,
Yes.
Annette,
yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
and Dick.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ben.
Thanks, Ben.
Up next is a discussion and possible resolution for the Bard Centennial Fountain. Gary, go ahead.
Just a quick refresher. The board discussed the unbilled service for the fountain at the March 19th meeting. I gave a brief year in review of the usage and the dollars for the past 5 years. Resolution 38, 2013 requires the board every 5 years to review that. So we did that then. You had discussion, you asked for some additional information on April 2nd, brought back to you mostly operational information about the fountain. You again had discussion. So tonight, again, we have 2 possible resolutions for you. One would be to increase the $5,000 annual limit to $7,000, or the other one would be to rescind Resolution 38, 2013, and provide unbilled electric and water service for the life of the fountain. That's kind of my brief recap. If you have any questions, I can try and answer them, or if you have any comments.
Ask for this to be put on the agenda tonight so we can try to come to closure on what we should do. Since the original resolution was written with no regard to what we are to do if we do exceed that $5,000 limit, my end goal is to have a resolution that does have a closed loop organization to it for the purpose that we don't have to address it every 5 years. If it falls under free service, this is the only item that we have that we monitor and address to the board at any time period. All other free services monitored at least on a monthly basis through the reading of the meters. And anything that looks unusual is addressed at that time. And that is one way that we can catch if we have a water leak, for example. We would see that on our monthly meter readings. It would show up there. And we could address it at that time. It doesn't have to wait for 5 years for us to address it and find out. Several years ago, we had a water leak, which is what you'll see if you go back through the years. There was 3 or 4 years ago, there was a water leak.
And it did show up.
And it did, yes, but it was addressed sooner, so it's not like we are going to make this invisible, but it will my goal is to see that it falls under the free service umbrella and is recorded and monitored the same way all other free service is monitored. If the board also decides we can increase the $5,000 cap, but still, that resolution doesn't have any end goal on it, what to do should it exceed that dollar amount. And that's the problem I have with the original resolution. It doesn't tell us what to do if the cost exceeds a certain dollar amount on an annual basis. And what we see right now, going back and forth through the past 6-7 years, is there is a varied cost. It's not consistent. Sometimes it might be $100 over the $5,000 limit. Sometimes it might be $8,000, $9,000, $1,000 over that limit. But still, at this point, we are not addressing that and doing anything about it. So that resolution is not a end-all type of a situation, something that the board should, doesn't tell us what to do, how to address it. And we don't have an agreement or a contract with anyone. This is free service. This is how the original resolution was presented. Free service, but a 5-year review. And at that time, we had anticipated the annual cost to be around $3,500. It really is right about $5,300 to $5,800 on average, if you look at all the years combined and do the math. So that is my end goal, but it's open to discussion, and then we can decide to vote or go for more information, however you guys want to do it.
In 2014, the spirit of the resolution at that point in time was that it was going to be a service that was going to be free.
Free service, correct.
Help me understand, why did they put a dollar limit if it was free service?
Because they were not sure at that time, and I was part of the board, several of us were, and we did not know what kind of cost to expect. And so we did just want some kind of a guideline that the board could address. Because as the utility monitors monthly, they would not know what to do. They would not report it to us.
Right.
We wanted to have some guideline.
And at the time, Karen, if you remember, Bard at that time had no idea what that number was. That was just a guess.
Mm-hmm.
So not only did we not know that, they didn't know it either.
Correct. Thank you, yes.
So,
And I think the only other unique with free service is it is located on county property,
Mm-hmm.
but I do think it's the best place for it, like as far as
Yeah.
being the center of the city. I can't imagine that fountain being anywhere else.
I think the city benefits a lot more from it than the county does anyway.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
For all the money that the merchants and property owners are investing downtown, I think we'd be shooting ourselves in the foot if we did anything, everything we could do to keep it
yeah.
going.
Yeah, I think it's very integral to the downtown.
It is.
There's a lot of good comments.
Are we running it efficiency? I mean, is there a better way to run the fountain?
In the past, the hours have been reduced, but, it is being run efficiently. Jim Kozenplecki does a great job. Even a week ago, when we were peak shaving, he adjusted the timers on it. He shut it down from 1 to 6. So yeah, everybody is running it efficiently.
Jim does a very good job monitoring that. Labor for free. He's a city council member, by the way, just so everybody knows. But he's there, yes, peak shaving, he will go and adjust it. High winds, he will go and adjust the pumps to turn them down in case of high winds. There's an anemometer on there that's monitored that tells him when to
And
make adjustments.
The timeframe's still April through October.
It's roughly, yes.
Okay.
And I'm gonna bring up something that, I don't know how this is gonna sound, but I'm gonna say it anyhow. Let's face it, Bard's been here forever, right?
110 years.
Pardon me?
110 years.
Yep.
Yes.
The city and the utility benefit from Bard manufacturing. I mean, let's be honest. They use our water and our electricity, we make money from that. The city makes money from all the employees paying the city income tax. And I don't know if this, if you're okay with this, but Karen did a study. Am I allowed to talk about that? Can I bring it up?
Do you want? If you want.
I'll be gentle, Karen. Karen took it upon herself, she's a numbers cruncher anyhow. We kind of talked about it and she broke that down. You know, the pump runs about 7 months, right? It's closed during the winter, colder months. And she just did a rough breakdown of, because I gotta be concerned about the ratepayers, right? It's cost me $1.65.
$1.16.
$1.16. Okay, I stand corrected.
For last year.
For last
Based
year,
on
for that
last
7
year's
months.
rates.
I mean,
Annually.
I think everybody can afford that, right?
That's not per month, that's annual.
Right, that's for the 7 months that it ran, correct?
Yeah,
Or whatever it was annually.
yeah.
So, I mean, if you break that down, even the people that have a lot less than I do, or I think everybody can afford that. It's a beautiful fountain. You know, I have not, Mayor, have you ever heard anybody say anything negative about it?
Absolutely not.
I have never. So,
And again, it was given in the generous spirit of, you know, we are the Fountain City, the Bard Family Foundation.
yep.
Thought we needed a fountain to celebrate that, and I think their only concern was how to, you know, they put together in the foundation a maintenance fund for
Right.
things if they break, but they had hoped that we would, you know, provide the water and power as if it was a public service, as our park restrooms are, and as the amphitheater interactive fountains are, and I find it very similar to those. And again, they're monitored and metered every month, but the board doesn't review them every 5 years.
And the maintenance costs don't fall on the residents,
Right.
commercial or industrial
Yeah.
meters. That is a separate fund
Right.
run by the Bryan area
Bryan
corporate,
Development.
Bryan Development Corporation, no, yeah. So that's not part of this free service resolution.
So
Yeah.
with that said, I'll just say, you know, I'm very much for rescinding the old resolution and just call it a free service, and, you know, we'll just support, I mean, I support that fountain, but that's just my opinion.
I do want to say that we do thank Jim Cozenpuck for all of his services, all of his monitoring, free labor, everything he does to help support the city.
And he's always worked with us, you know, on anything that we needed to know, or,
And the Bardsdale family too. I was on the Bryan Development Group for a short time, and there was an issue with the pump at that point, and they really quickly made sure the money was accessible to that group to get it fixed. So, you know, they care about that not breaking and not working and that not costing ratepayers further money. So,
That's very much appreciated. We don't know what the end of life on this fountain will be at this time. We anticipated a 20-year lifespan of it before something major needs to be done. And we don't know what that will be at this time, but that's why a new resolution was written to cover through the end of life and not until, like the first resolution was written for 20 years. Well, we don't know whether this fountain's going to
So,
last.
Aaron, help me understand, what you're proposing tonight will be free service forever.
Through the end of life on this current fountain. If they rebuild
Right.
it,
But the
there
current-
will be
the
new
current
terms.
resolution's through 2034. So therefore, it would exceed that.
It possibly could to 35, 36, 37,
Right,
but fountains
right.
have an end life
Right,
to
right.
them.
But the 2034 20-year resolution was put in 2014. At that point in time, there will be no negotiation.
The resolutions that you have to consider tonight will rescind that original resolution, so that will go away.
Right.
What is in this now is, one would increase the limit to 7,000, or it would be unbilled service
But
for the life of the fountain. So
If
there's
we
no
did
years
nothing
attached
today,
to it.
if we did nothing today,
Yes.
2034 will be the date of renegotiation.
That's what that resolution says,
Right.
it was for 20
Okay.
years.
And what we're saying today is that that will go away, and we will do it for the life of the fountain. Or, so the resolution therefore does, so we have no negotiation rights in the future.
If they rebuild the fountain, that is new life to it.
If they rebuild a new fountain.
Mhm. That's what it is. So if it
Oh.
happens in 2033,
Yeah.
we look at this again and
My thoughts are this: if we, in this resolution in 2014, it was a 20-year, and obviously, the cost exceeded what we anticipated for that service. I would say, not change anything, honor the existing resolution in 2034, renegotiate a new resolution.
that could be on the old fountain or a brand new fountain.
Right. I don't understand what a new or
If-
old fountain means.
Personally, I
If
don't
the old-
see any reason for putting a price limit on it. I mean, it's metered anyway. So I mean, we'll know if something goes wrong, or for whatever reason, the usage goes crazy, we'll know right away, and then we can,
Yes.
whoever's responsible, we can look into it. I
We're-
mean, it's,
we're-
as far as putting, I mean, the price is gonna go up anyway, because every time we have a rate increase, or an unusually dry summer, or windy summer, whatever, yeah, the usage is gonna go up, but you just have to take that into consideration.
How
And
how-
that,
how do
that's
we?
why the costs over
Right.
the years
how do
have
you-
gone
how
up
do you-
and
That's
down.
How do you
exactly right.
legally pursue that?
what do you mean by legally pursue? It's
If
on
it goes
government
excessive,
property.
it's $7,000 to $9,000, and we're saying it's unlimited because we're not gonna charge them for anything, but what I'm simply saying, if we keep the existing resolution in place in 2034, we can renegotiate what we think, anything excess of 5,000
Well,
at that
there's
point in
no one
time.
to renegotiate with but ourselves. We're the ones who are doing this resolution and making the decision on what to monitor. 'Cause we don't have an agreement or a contract with anyone,
We don't have
we're
an agreement
just
or
doing
contract,
free
it's just a
ser-
resolution.
giving free service for the operation
Right.
only of electric and water for this fountain.
Why was a resolution for 20 years?
Because I think the anticipation, and this is an assumption, maybe Karen and,
End of life.
yeah, they just thought it would last about 20 years.
Okay. So
The
at the
motor
end of
in
20
it.
years, they would build a new fountain?
I have no idea.
Nobody knows.
Or just move on to the existing facility?
Nobody knows.
It seems like
what
when you
happened.
build a fountain, it'd be more than 20 years, or something like that.
I don't think anybody knows.
Yeah.
And we
That's
can-
why I think we ended up with the agreement that we did, because nobody knew how much water it was gonna use. Nobody, it was just, we'll start here and go from there.
And being this is a resolution created by the board, we can open this up and look at this any year in the future if we want to, because there's no contract or agreement with another entity. So should something happen, then we can bring it to the table again and review it. There's nothing that'll stop us. We don't have to wait on a 20-year period.
Correct.
We don't have to wait until that year. We might want to do it before that.
So say wildest situation is there's a crack in the fountain and water is rapidly leaking and the Bryan Development Group says, we're not gonna shut it down, so we're just gonna leak water. Like, you guys could come in and pull a resolution and say, we're gonna stop our agreement until this is fixed.
Right.
So there's a way to negotiate that. I don't see any of those scenarios ever happening.
I think the fountain's gonna be there for 50, 100 years, personally.
And I also know, given who runs it right now and the direction of that, I mean, if there's ever a problem, he will shut it down and fix it and not just waste water or
I would think
electricity.
as far as best interest, they would want to make sure that fountain is there.
You're right.
Because it represents their existence, who they are. And so therefore, I don't anticipate that this fountain's gonna go away. I think it's gonna be here for beyond our lifespans, personally.
That would be nice. Nice
I really do,
thoughts.
I really do.
Can I make a comment?
Absolutely, sir.
There's no reason, there's no reasonable reason to expect that the fountain will use more water or more electricity over its life.
Right.
The only reason the cost would go up is because we've raised the rates.
Exactly.
Right.
That's good, fair, very
It-
good.
Yeah, well, you'll have some variation, but I
Well, with
mean,
weather,
yeah,
yeah.
you expect that. I mean, we've had it ever since they first turned it on.
We have 9 full years.
Exactly.
Of an example of what it does, so we know it.
Yeah.
To expect maybe $1,000 in variation from year to year, up and down.
And just like you said,
Within that
Mayor,
number.
let's just say a hypothetical that's wild, but could possibly happen. Let's say the country goes south. Utility rates triple.
Right.
We have to go back and revisit the free services to keep our boat floating. To answer your question, Bob, you know, we can go back and change, if the scenario changes, we can go back and
Just like
change anything.
you're looking at possibly rescinding a resolution from 2013. In 20 years, a board could rescind whatever you passed tonight,
Right.
or in 5 years, or 1 year, or 2 months. There's always that ability. But I think given what I know of the spirit of the donation to the community, I do think you guys were cautious for the first 5 years, and I think the Bard Steel family was also like, let's see what it costs and make sure it's not an astronomical number. But then as rates were raised through studies and logical reasoning, it's gone over that initial cap, which is 11 years old.
Well, now we have a pretty good idea what we're dealing with.
Yeah.
I'm gonna believe in technology in the future, those costs may come down as they improve the efficiency of that problem.
Any other discussion? Any other comments you want to make and bring to the table? My preference is to have, present to you the resolution to rescind the 2013 resolution and approve the new resolution that removes the cap, places the fountain under free service with the monthly monitoring, and
Need John to number and read that if you want to vote.
Yep.
And also any efficiencies that they can work for to keep the cost
accordingly, yes. And if you don't want to vote for that resolution, we always can fall back on this other resolution with the $7,000 cap, but we'll be stuck reviewing that every 5 years until.
I think the one you suggested is the one that makes the most sense.
I will present that one first and we will vote on it. If it passes, we will not do anything with the other resolution. If it does not pass, we'll present the other resolution then. Okay, John, if you would read, number and read, please.
I will. So both versions have the same caption. So the one we're reading officially is the one that provides free service for the life of the fountain.
Yes, sir.
Or, yeah. And that would be resolution number 14, 2024, authorizing the provision of water and electricity to the Bard Centennial Fountain and rescinding resolution 38, 2023.
13.
Okay, John, I have a question. We have two resolutions.
It's the one page that doesn't have a
One-pager. Okay,
That's the one you're
It's
looking at.
2013, John.
got it.
You read 2023, it's okay.
Oh, you're correct. 2013, sorry about that. Catch.
I'll make a resolution that we enter, authorize the provision of water and electric to the Bard Centennial Fountain, rescinding resolution 38, 2013.
I make a motion that we accept resolution 14.
I'll second, John.
Annette,
Yes.
Dick,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
and Bob.
Yes.
Thank you. Next up, will affect semi-monthly disbursements. Motion to pay the bills?
I'll make a motion. Pay the bills.
I'll second.
Bob,
Yes.
Jim,
Yes.
Karen,
Yes.
Annette,
Yes.
and Dick.
Yes.
Next up, comments from BPA and staff. Bob, would you like to start us?
Yes, thank you. From June 17th through June 22nd, the Bryan Lake Plant ran for 5 days straight in June in the spirit of the climate discussions. That's a record. I was impressed that 5 days solid straight in the month of June. I was not expecting anything to see quite like that. Typically in June you get 1 or 2 days max, but 5 solid straight days. If you follow the weather, you'll see the hurricane down in the Gulf is a unusual hurricane. They said the waters in the Gulf of Mexico are at the same temperature as they are in September as they are today. And you think about that, you got July, August, September to bake the oceans and they're at 88 degrees. And climate change, things are changing. And so there's a lot of unpredictability with what's happening there. So I was kind of blown away. And so in the ICP there, we probably met all those requirements there. And I can't imagine what's going to happen in July or August. You know, if those 5 CPs would be challenged. Or they may not. It's hard to tell with that. So, second, I love the fireworks. They were the best. I thought this was the best fireworks we had in Bryan, in probably in my front yard, 20 years. I thought they were awesome.
You can thank the Bryan Chamber for this.
Thank you, Bryan Chamber. But yeah, I thought those fireworks were awesome. I was in my front yard going, wow, they were awesome.
Those are all funded by donations
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
And they came close
Yeah.
on budget
Yeah,
there.
that was the best fireworks I can remember in a long time.
And their crew, the crew they hired is very professional.
Oh.
Met with them the last several years, and, I mean, it takes a whole city. I mean, obviously, the fire department,
Right.
police department, parks department is largely involved in that day.
Yeah, I mean, it was an awesome program. I like you said, everybody involved, Ben and the whole group and things, and I was blown away, and I was, and I've been sitting in my front yard for 20+ years watching them, but this was the best, I thought. Congratulations.
Thank you. Dick?
Hats off to the power plant guys. I mean, it's incredible, I used to do that, but when it's that hot, and then I was over talking to them and thanking everybody, turbine one, air conditioner broke in there in the control room. So that poor operator's got to set in there, and that's hot. Because that turbine kicks out a lot of heat. But thank God we got a good crew over there. They did an excellent job, and hats off to them. That's my all.
I really have nothing to add other than I think we did something good for the downtown area tonight. We found.
I'll leave those comments to come on this way, and then I thought the Jubilee was really nice this year. A lot of people attended. It appeared a lot of people attended the evening that I was walking around. And same thing with Day in the Park. Kind of a hot day for it, but I think the weather finally broke. So yeah, that's all I have.
Yes. Thank you. Yes, it's been a very fun June, must say, all around. Theater with its comedy and music options, and like you said, the Jubilee, the parade was great, fireworks. It takes a whole city to put everything together. Yes, and thank you, Board, for spending the extra time it took to revisit the Bard Fountain discussion. Thank you.
Just wanted to add, June 17th through the 21st, we did generate for 5 days in a row. The one CP is still holding from January 17th, but we did set all new 5 CPs. All glaze, we had low water, but Jim was able to maximize that and kick those generators on right, kind of at the last minute for those peak periods. So, as everyone else said, a big thank you to our crews for working through that heat. And then other than that, have a great 4th of July.
Mayor?
Just want to genuinely thank the board for passing the free service for our Parks Department. Lincoln Park is such an integral part of our community already. I love driving by there and seeing youth back where the old Lincoln School was. But the restrooms will be very accessible. They're going to be restrooms that we don't typically see with bigger spaces and handicap accessibility all throughout. So we're excited to have those up and running, and Black Swamp not having to keep their porta-johns there, although they've been super helpful and great to us also as the community. And I just want to thank you for your decision on the Bard Centennial Fountain. I think that was the true intent for the Bard family and also the BPA in 2013. And when we passed that initial resolution, it was just because of the unknown for both parties. And now we have a pretty good picture. And I think it definitely falls under the category of free service for the community. So thank you for both those actions, and have a safe 4th of July.
John?
Nothing else.
Mr. Betts? Ben, anything else? Sure.
I want to take a quick moment to thank Derek and Al, Adam, Kevin, and Noah. A week ago, our pool pump went out, and without the help of their transformer setter, we might still be at more pool trying to get the new pump back down in. But Al and Adam brought over the transformer setter, and Kevin and Noah helped my staff. It's about a 1,000-pound pump, and they were able to suspend it out over the area, drop it down, mark it, lift it back up, drill the holes, put it back down, put all the bolts in. Again, we might still be there trying to figure out how we're going to get that pump down in there if it wasn't for their staff. So I want to take a quick minute and make sure I thank them. I thank Derek for allowing them to be over there and help us. So I think you guys need to know that. they're always willing to help, and we do greatly appreciate it.
Wait till you get the bill, Ben.
That's okay.
No.
No
So
problem.
Mr. Logan is in one city.
Appreciate that, Benji.
It's good.
That's what we do.
It is good to have the
Well, you guys-
workmanship between both the city and
You guys have helped us out on occasion.
Right.
I tell them now all the time, I always feel like it's a one-way street, but, because they're always helping us, but
Sure.
I always tell them if they need something, they know where we're at,
Yeah.
so.
That we do. Brian?
Have a good Fourth.
And I'm sorry, I don't know your...
My name's India Kenner. I'm new with it's my summer job with the Village Report, but I am a teacher in Edgerton at the Hope Center for Autism. So I actually had a question for the Lincoln Park.
Yes.
Are they gonna put like any fencing?
Yes. Ben, do you know the date for that?
I don't have a date, it's all financially driven, obviously, but yes, we already have quotes to put a fence all the way around.
Okay, nice. Yeah, they like to elope, so.
Yes, and some pavilions for shade are very much in the future, but
Yeah.
our main component was working on that building permit through the state for the restrooms, so we've hit that hurdle, and it's gonna be done soon, won't it?
Yes.
Yes.
It's beautiful. My kid, I couldn't get them to leave. And my youngest is 3, and she's on the spectrum, and it's a really good park. I mean, I had to drag her to the car. I mean, she did not want to leave. It's very neat.
That's good. That was the intent.
Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Mr. Metz? Thank you. Entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second?
Dick?
Yes.
Jim?
Yes.
Karen?
Yes.
Annette?
Yes.
Bob?
Yes.